Welcome to the Dark Room. Howard Phillips Lovecraft, better known simply as H.P. Lovecraft, was a writer of the early 20th century whose works would later shape an entire genre of cosmic horror. A subgenre of horror, fantasy, and weird fiction. Like most great artists, regardless of the medium, he went largely unnoticed during his lifetime. Today he stands as one of the most influential voices in weird fiction, his stories filled with mystery, dread, and the suggestion of forces beyond human comprehension. The Terrible Old Man was written on January 28, 1920, and first published in The Tryout. It was the design of Angelo Ricci and Joe Janik and Manuel Silva to call on the terrible old man. This old man dwells all alone in a very ancient house on Water Street near the sea, and is reputed to be both exceedingly rich and exceedingly feeble, which forms a situation very attractive to men of the profession of Ricci, Janik, and Silva, for that profession was nothing less dignified than robbery. The inhabitants of Kingsport say and think many things about the terrible old man, which generally keep him safe from the attention of gentlemen like Mr. Pecos, despite the almost certain fact that he hides a fortune of indefinite magnitude somewhere about his musty and venerable abode. He is, in truth, a very strange person, believed to have been a captain of East India clipper ships in his day, so old that no one can remember when he was young, and so taciturn that few know his real name. Among the gnarled trees in the front yard of his aged and neglected place, he maintains a strange collection of large stones, oddly grouped and painted, so that they resemble the idols in some obscure Eastern temple, and talks to himself constantly. The most unnerving thing about him is his habit of talking to bottles in which he keeps little lead pendulums. These bottles are arranged in rows upon the table in a back room, and when he speaks to them, he addresses them by such names as Jack, Scarface, Long Tom, Spanish Joe, and Mate Ellis, and once in a while he shakes some of them as if he were trying to awaken the things inside. When he does this, a sound comes from the bottles, as if they were answering him. It was late one night when the three robbers met together to discuss their plans. They were very confident. For men as desperate and hardened as they were, the terrible old man would be alone, and they would be three. Besides, he was feeble and old. The following evening, at about 8 o'clock, the three men set out for the terrible old man's house. And they did not believe in the stories the people of Kingsport told of him. They had heard too many things about the unearthly habits of the terrible old man. But it was not to be supposed that these stories had any real foundation. The waiting seemed very long to Mr. Janik. He did not like the hideous screams he had heard in the ancient house just after the hour appointed for the deed. Had he not told his colleagues to be as gentle as possible with the pathetic old sea captain? And he strained his eyes to see what his colleagues had brought out of that sinister house which loomed so close. But when he looked, he did not see what he had expected, for his colleagues were not there at all, but only the terrible old man, leaning quietly on his knotted cane and smiling hideously. Little things make considerable excitement in little towns, which is the reason that Kingsport people talked all that spring and summer about the three unidentifiable bodies, horribly slashed as with many cutlasses, and horribly mangled as by the tread of many cruel boot heels, which the tide washed in. But in this idle village gossip, the terrible old man took no interest at all. If you enjoyed this effort and you'd like to see more, you can repay me by subscribing and hitting the like. It will ensure the future of this channel. Goodbye for now. Thank you for visiting The Dark Room.